Well, in continuation of a discussion on form and content, with reference to Terry Eagleton's Chapter 2, book, Chapter 2 from his book Marxism and Literary Criticism, we shall now talk about George Lucas, and his views on literary form. So, in the work of George Lucas, we find the problem of literary form. It has been explored thoroughly, especially in his book, The Theory of the Novel. It is his pre-Marxist work. It is early work, but it is not a Marxist work. It is a pre-Marxist work. And in this particular book, Lucas follows Hegel. He comes up with Hegel's ideology in seeing the novel as a bourgeois epic. Most of you must be familiar with this particular term. A novel is a kind of epic. An epic is a type of poem, poetry. It's a long poem, long narrative poem. It comes up with some story. So, novel is an epic in prose, we can say. And epic is a novel in poem, in poetry. Therefore, Hegel looks at the novel as the bourgeois epic, the epic of the middle class, the capitalist society. But an epic which, unlike its classical counterpart, novel and epic, these are two different forms. The classical epic has certain other qualities, but novel, which is not like an epic, a classical epic, the man in modern society. This has to be noted. A classical epic deals with the heroic deeds of a classical character, the king, etc., gods and goddesses. It talks about, you are familiar with the epic form. But this bourgeois epic, which is novel, is called a bourgeois epic, and it deals with homelessness and alienation of man in modern society. In Greek classical society, man is at home in the universe. He is not homeless. If you refer to Sophocles, his Odyssey, all these are classical epics. And the man in these epics is at home. He is not homeless. At home in the universe, moving within a grounded, complete world of eminent meaning, and which is adequate to his soul's demands. So he is in search of meaning of life, but as per his soul's demand. He is not homeless or alienated, disconnected from the society. You must have read the poem uh, Ulysses by Tennyson. So you can see Ulysses also likes to move, but he has a quest. He wants to visit new places. He wants to know culture and all. So that quest is there. But in modern novels, we do not have that. This man is homeless. He's alienated. So the novel arises when that harmonious integration of man and his world is shattered. You understand this? Means there is no harmonious integration. There is a disharmony. His world is shattered. The hero of a novel of fiction is now in search of a totality. If you read Albert Camus, If you read Jean-Paul Sartre, if you read Kafka, if you read James Joyce, you'll realize that the hero of fiction is now in search of a totality. He's estranged from a world either. Estranged means alienated. Okay. A world either too large. The world is too large or too narrow to give shape to his desires. Means the world is either too big for him or it is too congested for him. So he fails to get his desires fulfilled. The modern hero in the novel is haunted by the disparity between empirical reality, observable reality. Empirical means a reality which can be seen. If you see, Hindi movies, you will come across such kind of characters. But I wonder, Hindi movies tend to be more romantic than realistic. So the, he's haunted by this disparity. Disparity means a kind of gap, dissimilarity between empirical reality and a vanished absolute. The novel's form is typically ironic. So a novel is the epic of a world abundant by God, whereas the epic is, the epic is graced by God. You see the presence of gods and goddesses in epics. If you are not familiar with Greek epics and all, you can take the examples of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So it is not abundant by God, it is, graced by God. So Lucas rejected his this cosmic pessimism when he became a Marxist. Now, when he talk about the theory of the novel, it is a pre-Marxist work, and when he became Marxist, he rejected this pessimism. We can see that the protagonist is pessimistic. He's surrounded by negative elements. He's abandoned by God. His world is abandoned by God. Much of his later work on the novel retains the Hegelian emphasis on the theory of the novel. We shall talk about it in the next lecture.